Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here today for the IGLTA new member call for March. Somehow we've already made it to March 2021. We're delighted to have all of you here with us today. And our topic is going to be on blogs. One of the great benefits that you have as part of your IGLTA membership can really help increase your presence and make your participation with IGLTA more well-known and more public. So to kick it off here this morning, I'm going to introduce our membership team. Hi, I'm Emma Edelman. I am one of the membership concierges for IGLTA. And next we have Martina, who is our membership coordinator for South Africa, Clovis, who is our membership coordinator for Brazil. And then I don't know if Eduardo joined us. We also have a few other IGLTA staff members with us. We have Austin Matta, who is part of our marketing and communications team. And we have John Tanzella, who is the president and CEO, and Kristen Gershengorn, who is the executive assistant to the president and CEO. So I'm going to let all of them unmute themselves for a second here and say hello for a moment.
I'll start. Hi, it's Martina from Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, it's Kristen with IGLTA in Fort Lauderdale. Welcome. Thanks for attending.
I guess I'll go. This is Austin, based in Madrid, Consumer Marketing Manager. Welcome, everyone.
This is John Tanzella. I am based in Fort Lauderdale, and it is wonderful to have all of you on this call. We do tape these calls so that you can always reference the information that we do each month, which is different. Today, of course, is on blogs, but we're here to help you, so welcome.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're so excited to have you all here with us today. And so to introduce the star of our show, it's Loanne. She is going to be our key speaker for today. She's our VP of Communications.
Thank you, Emma, and welcome, everyone. I don't know about star of the show, but I wanted her to include a picture of me traveling because we get to do that so rarely. This was me going from London to Brighton Beach, so all of an hour from my house, dressed a little differently than I am today. It was quite cold in London. I'm actually back in Fort Lauderdale, where our headquarters is based at the moment, but my wife is British, so I go back and forth between the two. As Emma said, I head up the marketing and communications team, which includes Austin Matta, who you see here on the call, and also Tony Reckley, who we call Lola, and she will answer to that, so feel free to send messages to her as Lola at any time. And she oversees the social media for IGLTA. And she's a great person to reach out to you if you have something particular going on in your business that you would like us to share on our social media channels as a one-off. We're really generous about doing that for our members. So it's not it's an unofficial official benefit. So you can just drop her a note. But today we're going to focus specifically on the IGLTA blog, because we had a lot of conversations with members recently about the fact that it's a really great benefit that a lot of them didn't know was there and available to them. And the great thing about contributing to the IGLTA blog is that it has a ripple effect. So once you contribute to the blog, there are different channels that we promote it in to give you more visibility for your business. So we have both the travel blog and the business blog. The travel blog is specifically for consumers. It's consumer facing. We promote it across our consumer channels, and it's about travel. And it's a way of sharing insights that you have about the world at large in whatever area of the world you're in. Whereas the business blog is specifically B2B. So if your business model is more about connecting as a supplier to buyers, or the other way around, buyers to suppliers, if you are specifically focused on marketing strategies. So depending on your business model, you can choose which blog you'd like to submit to. And I want to talk a little bit about the blog models and what you can do, because a lot of times what we'll hear back from our members is that, ooh, I would really love to contribute to the blog. I love this idea, but I'm not a writer. So what do I do? The first thing that you should do is don't panic, because we're here to help you. And there are a lot of different ways that you can do a blog that are not so narrative, that are not about you writing something in great detail. Photos are a great way to tell a story. You can have more photos than text. I also wanted to show this example of a recent member submitted blog for out in Cuba. This is an LGBTQ plus owned business, obviously promoting travel to Cuba. In this case, they set it up as an interview. So you're only seeing a snippet of the blog. You can see the full blog on the website. But basically, they interviewed a local tour guide who's gay in Havana that works with their business, and just asked him a series of questions and had him answer them. And then that's how their blog was showcased. So you can be innovative in the way that you do these blogs. If you have an LGBTQ plus member of your team or someone in the community that you work with that showcases your destination, having a conversation with them in the blog can be a really good way of promoting your business, your destination, without actually having to write a quote unquote story about where you are. Because the most important thing to remember about the blog is that the blog is not an advertisement. This is a way of sharing a love of travel with consumers. And they're a savvy bunch, so they're not going to respond well if they feel like, you know, this is a big sales pitch for the business. But if you read this blog and you see, oh, here's a company that can offer a lot of great insights about what it means to be LGBTQ plus in this particular destination, oh, that says a lot about the company. And so you get that feeling of connection, and it showcases you as an LGBTQ plus welcoming business without you actually having to say, hey, come to me, come to me, come to me. And the great benefit about doing these blogs is how it's then passed on through our other channels. So you may or may not be aware, but every 2 weeks, Austin puts out a consumer newsletter that goes to our database. And this new blog that came in, Explore Cuba with a Gay Local, was then featured as one of a handful of articles that were in that consumer newsletter. So he's presented it here, you can see, with a snippet of text and one of the photos from the blog. And then it says read more, and it directs to read the full blog. And then we also promote these submissions on our consumer social media channels as well. And they, of course, live on the blog indefinitely. They don't go away. So it's an ongoing promotion for your business. We also get a lot of questions from our ally businesses who say, well, I'm not an LGBTQ plus owned business. I'm not quite sure what to do with the blog. I'm an expert in my destination. We're very LGBTQ plus welcoming. You know, how can I submit something? So the next example, which is actually Mongolia, is a new member who obviously runs tours in Mongolia, and he works with a group of guides there that are very LGBTQ plus welcoming, but he is not part of the community himself. So he wanted to figure out a way to communicate that. So he wrote about Mongolia in a very passionate way. He described what it's like to be there. He's an expert on the country. And so he conveyed that in the story that he told about Mongolia. And I love the way it starts. Where are all the fences? Because it's such an open and beautiful country. But what he also did then was include some information, and it was just about a paragraph in the context of the blog, just saying a little bit about LGBTQ rights and experiences in Mongolia, just to give the traveler a sense of what it would be like for them. So the focus of the blog itself is very much on the country, but then it still adds that element that speaks directly to the LGBTQ plus traveler. And we've seen that done successfully with a few members recently, where they've either interviewed locals in their community to get a little bit of added insight to put in at the end, or they even just did a little online research and included what the rights and laws were for their particular country. So it's a good way of doing it if you don't feel like you have enough language to really speak LGBTQ plus throughout the entire blog, because ultimately we're all here because it's about a love of travel, and there's a place for everyone on the spectrum within the blogging world. And the best part of all is that when it comes into us, it goes through Austin and I, and we will edit the blog, and we will talk to you about it, and help you tweak it. So if you feel like it's your first time out and you're not quite sure, don't worry. It's not going to get posted until we've talked to you about it and got it to a good place to showcase your business. If you're more interested in the B2B side, we also have an example of that. I will say that most of the members that are submitting consumer blogs. We haven't had as many B2B submissions, but if that's something that you're interested in, you are very welcome to do that. This particular one is from an organization called Communify, based in New Orleans. Why you should start a local LGBTQ marketing advisory group. This is something that he does within his business, and he created a marketing advisory group in New Orleans, but he gave examples from other communities and where and how that's worked. So it's a very business-driven model, because he's showcasing his skill set as providing marketing strategies for businesses related to LGBTQ plus travel. Another way that could work is we have also more recently had some suppliers for different destinations. We had a blog created where they were talking specifically about the Maldives and what it's like to sell the Maldives. But their model is that they work directly with travel advisors, travel agents. So they wanted the blog to be B2B focused. So even though it's talking about the destination, it's speaking in a way that is much more in the language of direct to buyer as opposed to direct to consumer. And you can see that one on our blog as well. So if you're ready to get started, oh, and that's a photo from New Orleans from Communify as well. These are some ideas. And if you're not sure before you write the whole thing, you can certainly drop a note to Austin Matta. You can give us a little wave, Austin. And discuss these with him. We have travel guides, which are actually a much larger category, and we can talk about those a bit more at the end if you like, creating larger guides to a destination. But it can also be a short destination highlight piece for the blog. Travel safety is really important to the LGBTQ plus community. Niche topics, if you want to look at something specifically related to family travel in your area, transgender travel, seasonal topics related to Pride season or various holidays, festivals perhaps in your community, all kinds of outdoor activities, well, outdoors or activities, could be cultural, it could be nature, it could be sporting, romance related to weddings or honeymoon travel. And it could be across the spectrum, whether it's budget or luxury, or as I presented at the very beginning, the interview format, sharing stories and experiences. So there's a lot of different options. We're really wide open and receptive to whatever you might want to use to present your business. So just drop us a note if you're unsure if it's a good fit, or we also might know if someone's doing something at the same time. And so we might then have a suggestion saying, oh, hey, we've already got a blog about to be posted on X. Why don't you pivot to something slightly different for yours to differentiate yourself? So if you're ready to go, these are the basic blog guidelines. We do have a sheet that you can download from the website, or you can get it from Austin or myself. But this is just a basic template of how the blog should work. 400 to 800 words with a proposed title, 1 to 3 photos. Everyone loves photos, so I would always say 3 if possible. And if you want to do more photos, that's welcome as well. The most important thing about the photos, though, is that these are your photos. They're photos that you have the rights to, or that you have collected from a free usage image bank. We don't want you stealing photos out there and getting in trouble. So it's very important that these are your photos, and you can provide photo credits for those. You can submit up to 4 posts a year. So basically quarterly. At this point, it's still a small number of members that are supporting the blog. Down the road, we may have to reevaluate this if we get inundated, but this is a great time to take advantage of it and do those 4 posts a year to support your business. Include a short byline. And this is 2 sentences or so about your business. You can say a little bit about your experience in whatever it is that you've blogged about. And then that will include a link to your IGLTA profile and to your website within the byline, so that you can be directly contacted by consumers or businesses. And that's a good time to say it links to your IGLTA profile, so make sure you have a good profile. Don't put the cart before the horse and blog before you've actually built out a profile, so that you are a visible business on the IGLTA website when you finish it. And if you can give us about 2 weeks of lead time, that's fantastic. That gives us time to get any questions we might have resolved, do the editing, and get it posted and get it out there into the world to share. If you do have something that is particularly time sensitive because it's tied to an event, or you want to promote a destination because you have upcoming tours, please let us know that as well, because if we have some entries that are time sensitive and some that aren't, then we'll move the time sensitive post to the front of the line. And that's really it. It's just about sharing your stories with the community of LGBTQ+ travelers. But now we want to open up the floor to see if you have any questions, to see if Austin wants to add anything. I'll let him do that now. And
yeah, no, I would just quickly say, like you said, if you have any questions or you're uncertain, just drop us an email. For example, if you only have 1 photos or you can't find any good photos, we have some extra resources. So just let us know. We might be able to help you out on that. And then we can really kind of help you kind of build out the, if you have an idea for a title, we can help you build out an outline, right? And we can suggest some edits to the title to make it really pop. So just let us know. But other than that, Luann really hit all the main points.
Thank you so much, Luann and Austin. So we have 1 question. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand in Zoom, and we will pick on you, so that way you can ask your question to Luann and Austin. The first question is, how much does it cost to do a blog, Luann?
how much does it cost to blog? I have the best answer. It is free. So this is a benefit of your IGLTA membership. If you are an IGLTA member in good standing, then you can send this up to 4 blogs in the 1 year of your membership.
That is the best answer. Who doesn't like free, right? That's fantastic. So one other question that came in, which is, you know, do you have any advice about what's getting the most views? What are people looking for right now?
So one thing I would say is the title of your article is always going to be kind of the most you're going to want to make it catchy, right? So if people don't find interest in the title, they're not even going to click on it to read. So definitely think about what you want the title to represent in the article, and then really kind of the second most important thing is make it relevant to the community. You don't want to write 1,000 words of a blog post and then mention the word LGBT one time, right? So the entire article doesn't have to be about LGBT, but it is important that you make it really relevant to the community. So other than those two things, I would say topics can really vary, but those two things probably are the most important. I don't know if Loanne, you have any other ideas?
No, I think those are spot on, Austin. Those are the most important points. I think this happens sometimes in across the board with IGLTA, also with eBlast that people purchase. They'll submit something to us, but it's just a general travel eBlast. It doesn't have any kind of LGBTQ plus context. And although, as I said, it doesn't have to be in every single sentence of your article, that's why you're here at IGLTA, is to convey an LGBTQ plus welcoming message and to be inclusive. So for the things you're sending out through us, absolutely, we want you to include LGBTQ plus messaging within them.
Wonderful.
Thanks for that.
Thank you guys so much for that answer. So if you have a question, if you want to either raise your hand or unmute yourself, now is your time. We have about 6 minutes left. And if you have a question beyond about the blogs, now is also a great time to ask.
Either a shy group or there are no questions.
Yeah, no, this is a rare moment. No questions.
It's a small group too, so don't feel shy about speaking up.
We're here to help. So if you don't feel comfortable, Natalia, thank you. We're glad that everything's clear. That's great news. And so as John mentioned, this is being recorded. So that way, if you do have questions, you can go back and watch the recording. Obviously, you don't have to watch the full 30 minutes. You can fast forward to where you want to, pick up. There's also all this information that's available on the IGLTA website. So if you have questions about that, feel free to email one of us. We're happy to help at any time, or, let us know. You can find us pretty much everywhere at any time.
Thank you, Cynthia. We appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what it's about too, reminding members that these benefits are available. There's a lot of benefits to IGLTA that get left on the table. So we want to make sure that you make the most of the membership and stay with the IGLTA family for years to come.
Exactly.
Yeah, and one of the things I would quickly add is, correct me if I'm wrong, Emma and John and Luann, but I think we're doing these Members Connect, new Members Connect calls monthly. So just because, next month or 2 months from now, you might not feel like a new member because you started 3 months ago. We're always changing topics and we're always kind of reaffirming topics. So, feel free to jump on another call or, watch the video from the recording if you don't participate. Just because, like Loanne said, I mean, there are a tremendous amount of benefits that have to do with marketing, promotion, the website, networking. It's really tough to understand all of them all at once. We don't expect you to. But if you can join a handful of these over the course of 6 to 12 months, you'll really get, I think, a good feeling of how you can leverage your membership in the most productive way.
And you can go online and register for all of them at one go. It does allow you to register ahead of time now, so you can register for the entire year. And if you register and don't attend, you'll still get the recording. and the recordings will be available on the IGLTA site. So
So 11 a.m. Eastern time on the third Thursday of the month.
exactly. And since I don't hear any questions, thank you to everyone who joined us today. You know, we really do welcome you to connect with us, any member of the IGLTA team. So we have, all of our emails are here. The slides will be shared along with the content from the recording. And so we're available. Feel free to email marketing@IGLTA or membership@IGLTA. We check both of those email addresses, and then the right person from the team will get back to you. You can also email each of us individually. We're happy to help and in any way that we can. And thank you so much for attending. We'll hang out here for the next 2 minutes or so, but if you don't have any questions, you get 2 minutes back in your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck with your membership, and thanks for joining.